Hey guys, it's Olympian Jonathan Edwards with athletespecific.com. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed last week's video on changing the game and why you can't change the game. This week, I want to kind of dovetail off of that a bit and talk about focusing on what you want as opposed to focusing on what you don't want. All right? This always surprises me. A lot of well-meaning parents or coaches will talk about, they'll make casual comments on how, your team never gets the breaks, or the ball never bounces your way, or, you don't do this as opposed to do that. And I'll share with you a really interesting story. This was a true story that happened to me when I was playing lacrosse a long time ago. But our team was down by a goal with about a minute left. And one of the things that our coach did, which was always kind of fun, was we worked on this special play. And it was this special play that was designed to get our buddy Zach the ball. And Zach, I was the goalie, and so what was always fun was in practice, the team would run this play, and so I was always playing first, obviously first D against the first offense. And so they'd run this play, and Zach would always end up getting this clear shot at the net, and I was always excited for that because Zach would rip it, and it was him against me, and it was always fun. And Zach would always get a really good shot off, and I would have to make a really good save. And so in this game, we were playing a team that wasn't as good as us, and we were kind of playing down to their level. It was just an off day for us as a team. And so we're down by a goal, and coach calls a timeout, and what are we going to do? We're going to run that play we always run. And so coach, gets out the whiteboard, writes it up, we're just basically going over what we already know. We already know how to do it. And, we're going to run the play, and Zach's going to get the ball, and Zach's going to get a shot off. Now, the other goalie was not as good as I was, and not to brag, but just, we were pretty confident that Zach was going to get the ball and get a shot off, and we were going to get a goal, tie it up, maybe go to overtime, whatever. So, the timeout ends, and we break the huddle, and Zach's walking away. Coach says this. He goes, "Hey Zach," he goes, "don't miss." And well, what do you think happened? So we run the play. Ref blows the whistle. We run the play. Zach gets a shot. What did he do? He missed. Zach never missed in practice. And what happened there was that the coach put this image in Zach's head of missing. Your brain can't process a negative. So if I tell you don't miss, or if I tell you don't think of a pink polar bear, you're thinking of a pink polar bear, right? It may take you a second, but you will. And so what happened there was the coach, just jokingly put in his head, "Hey, Zach, don't miss." Well, what's Zach seeing in his mind's eye? He's seeing missing. And sure enough, he did what his mind saw, and he missed. Now, what always floors me is parents, coaches, other athletes, say kind of sarcastically, they'll say things like, "Hey, don't miss," or don't let him beat you, right? And what ends up happening is that the athlete's mind focuses on that thing that they don't want to have happen, and guess what? It usually happens. Same thing's true. To give you another example, in race car driving. So when you learn how to drive a race car, what you learn how to do is you learn how to drift the car. And now an uncontrolled drift is a spin. But what happens is a driver is taught to recognize the drift and basically the back wheels coming around. But then the driver's taught to focus on where he wants the car to go, right? So if a car is drifting and it's looking like it's going to hit the wall, the driver doesn't look at the wall, because what ends up happening is that the body just doesn't know how to not steer away from that wall and usually goes right into it. The driver's taught to steer where they want the car to go. And then what happens is that the brain helps the body basically do what it needs to do to get that car to go and straighten out and go where they want it to go, right? So that's a really cool metaphor. If you were an athlete or parent or coach watching this, what are you doing to help your athletes focus on what it is they want versus what it is they don't want? A comment as casual as like, "Oh, the big guy on the other team always runs around our D." Well, okay, whatever. what we should be saying is that, wow, when that big guy gets the ball, our team always rallies around each other and knows how to defend against that guy, right? That's a much more positive vision. It's a much more successful vision than focusing on the image of that big guy running around everybody and scoring, right? It's athletes when they focus on, I'm never good in the rain. Well, really? Well, if you're reinforcing that and thinking about that, then you're never going to be good in the rain. Whereas if you say, hey, you know what, I'm great in all conditions, and you say, oh, all right, yeah, you're good in all conditions. Well, what do you do to be good in all conditions? Well, when it rains, I do this, this, and this, right? And that gives me the best chance to be successful in the rain, right? Or if it's cold out, this always fascinates me. One last story for you. Tom Brady, the New England Patriots. I love talking about Tom Brady. I'm a Patriots fan, so love him or hate him. He's would always go up in these epic battles against Peyton Manning in the cold. And what Peyton Manning had a history of not being very good in the cold. And everybody would remind Peyton about how, hey, listen, your stats aren't as good in the cold as they are in warm weather. What's the matter? So the media, all the time, hey, you're going to New England. You're going to play in the cold. All they're doing is reinforcing in his head how bad he is in the cold. And I feel like professional athletes are always amazing because all they're getting peppered with all the time is negative questions from the media. Hey, stats say that you're not very good in this situation. And I'll be like, well, thank you. I really don't need to know that because I'm focusing on being good in that situation, right? So what is it for you? What are some things that you say to yourself, or maybe if you're a parent or an athlete, a coach watching this, what do you say to your athletes sarcastically that, hey, we're never really good in this situation. Well, okay, that doesn't help me. Help me focus on the things that help me see myself being better in that situation, okay? Super important. Hey guys, it's Jonathan, and thanks for watching. A couple things before you go. First and foremost, if you like this video, do me a favor. Would you share it with somebody? Email it, Facebook, share it, like it, pin it, Google Plus it. I sure would appreciate it. By all means, please leave me a comment below. That's really the juice that kind of keeps this going for me, is when I hear back from people in the community who either like what I've had to say or they don't like what I have to say. Let's continue the conversation. And secondly, subscribe. You can do it right here on this video. You can subscribe on YouTube so that every time I put out a new video, you're going to get notified. And also, if you'd like to get an email notification, you can click on the link in the show notes in order to do that as well. And finally, listen, I've got a free course that I've put together for athletes, parents, and coaches, and I hope that you'll check it out. It's called The 3 Key Abilities. And what I have seen in my kind of lifespan of coaching and having been an athlete is that all successful athletes possess 3 key abilities. And without these 3 key abilities, they're unable to reach the levels of success that they want to have. Most athletes that I have worked with, that I see, are usually really good at 1, maybe 2, but there's 3 total that really need to come together in order to make an athlete reach the goals that they want to reach and do it successfully and do it with fun and enjoyment and to really make their dreams come true. So over at Athlete Specific, if you click on the link athletespecific.com/3 keys, you can head over there. And I've actually created 2 versions of this course, one for athletes and one for parents and coaches. So where I speak, it's similar content, but it's basically me speaking to you as you need to hear it, whether you're the athlete or the parent or the coach. So I really hope you'll check that out, okay? athletespecific.com/3 keys. Thanks for watching, and if there's ever a topic that you want me to cover, I'd be happy to. Leave me a comment below, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.